Good morning, folks on YouTube. Yeah, got out a little late today. Tried to hit 6 o'clock, and Henry had a few accidents. Good morning, Dennis. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping in. It's a nice, wet Saturday down here. So all those weekend plans we had probably going to be gone. James Ward, long time no see. How you doing, bud? Yeah, I'm just trying to get some things set up here. Oops, that'd be the wrong one. Yeah, we're going to have rain all day, I think. Alabama, Dennis. About 90 miles from the beach. And supposed to be really bad rain tomorrow. Asgard, my friend, hello. Yeah, I'd have been here a whole lot sooner, but Henry kind of decided to have a few problems around the house that had to be cleaned up. He's not feeling real well, I guess. Nothing dangerous, but he must have ate something didn't agree with him. Yeah, she's pretty too, or he's pretty. I've seen him on, if it's the one that shows up on your lap every once in a while on your lives with Roger and whatnot. Very pretty dog. Very pretty. Or handsome, as the case may be. Yeah. Well, Henry's 14 months, but every once in a while. And he picked this morning to be that every once in a while. Yeah, we kind of like dogs. We got 9 of them. Most of them are rescues. Thank goodness people stopped dropping them off in front of the house, though. And then hello. And let's see what we got. Guys, I'll be right back. It won't take me as long as it does Paul. No content. Probably don't get a lot of subscribers if you don't have content. All righty. But welcome and good morning. Yeah, I know what that's like. Mine are pretty good. I go to work every day at 5:30. So I get, we bring the 3 outside dogs in, put them in kennels. And about 5:30, they get sent outside, get their morning cookie, and then the rest of them do too. No, I served during the Vietnam War, but I didn't go to the Vietnam War. I'm an era. That's why I've never bought a hat until a friend of mine found one that said Vietnam era. Because I never technically went to the country. Went through basic when they still had the Vietnam Village, got the Vietnam speech, and then they sent my ass to Germany. So you're well trained, Dennis. I hope it's a good cookie. That's for sure. Yeah, pretty much my whole life I've been out of bed before 6 anyway, so it doesn't hurt. Oh, for any of you that watched my print or my video on the fans that I was trying to make for the church. I tried to change filament last night, and I clogged the head. So I learned a new trick, how to disassemble the head, force that piece of filament out, and put the head back together. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, it was definitely the filament, because that fan came out perfect. I'm doing the second one right now. But that one came out beautiful. Letters are raised. It's just the right thickness. And I used better filament that time. I used the somewhat expensive wood filament that I got. But it came out much, much better. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit before I give it to anybody. But it's a church fan. My wife goes, he ain't got a handle. I says, it's got a handle. There's 360 of them all the way around. Grab it wherever you want and go like this with it. It works better than the wooden ones where the handles keep coming off. So we'll see if they like it or not. I'm not going to mass produce them until they tell me they'd like them. I'm sure they will. So I'm working on the second one right now. So in about 7 hours, I'll probably have it. Okay, I got to get him. Guys, hang on a second. I can't let him do that all day. Get in this room. Stop making that noise. Oh, I know. Come on, get up there. Okay, I know. You don't feel good, and nothing I can do about it. Okay, I ain't got no pink tummy medicine. There's my buddy, guys. He's all upset about something. Probably because he doesn't understand why he doesn't feel good. That's okay, buddy. Oh, hush. What's the matter? Huh? I'll put you outside with the big dogs if you're not careful. Now he's giving you a bath today for sure. Yes, she is. She's giving you a bath today. This is Henry. Nope. That was Henry. Yeah. Henry, stop doing that. Guys, I'll be right back. Come on. Yeah. No. Do it. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Maybe he'll settle down now. Yeah, he doesn't feel very good. He's probably the first time we've had him. We've had him since he was a pup that he's ever had an upset stomach. So maybe he'll learn not to eat whatever it was he ate. So what's up, guys? Dennis, you gonna do a sunrise this morning, or has it already happened? Ruland, good morning. Or should I say good evening? Oh, let me see. Okay, I didn't miss anything when I was gone. Yeah, the fan is it came to me quite by accident. I was trying to make something for somebody, and what I was trying to do was I was trying to do a print this big with some erased letters for his channel and another little raised thing in the middle, and it didn't work. So when I peeled up, he's not feeling good. When I peeled up the mat, or the raft, as they call it, I was sitting there saying, man, I don't want to throw that much stuff in the garbage. And I went like that with it. I went, huh. So I showed it to the wife, and she says, yeah, that's a good fan. She put it in her purse. Well, then I got this idea. And after 2 failed prints with the cheap stuff, I put the good stuff in the printer, and it printed it right off. It just takes a while. So, yeah, it was one of those accidents. Yeah, Ruland, I think I still have you. I hope. 1:14 in the afternoon. I'll say so. It's good afternoon. Guten Abend. Yeah, that was the original thing. Only not so much drone parts for me as it was uh, houses and things for the layout. And it just grew into what it's grown into. I started with little tiny projects, and so far I've only done one little tiny house for the layout, and I've done a bunch of little coins for the church, for the children's church, to hand out to kids when they know their lessons really well. Okay, take care, Dennis. Thanks for stopping by. I was kind of hoping Paul was going to come in today. Maybe you can see I've got a little present. Well, not so much a present for Paul. It's brownie bites. But I don't think I can squish it in there, Asgard. I really don't. I think my microphone might not like it, and I know the camera won't like it. But yeah, Paul's a good guy. I hope Mel gets him to start doing some intermittent live streams once in a while, at least when he's flying, because I know he's got the equipment. But Asgard, would you like to come on? I don't know if it'll work the way Paul's system's kind of funny. I can't bring him on the normal way. Most other people I can. The old fart club. I just call it the geriatrics ward. Yeah, I wish I could get on at work, but I can't. I don't know how to do it with an iPad for one thing, and that's the only device I have at work. Good morning, Rodney. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Asgard, if you want to do that, just put your email in for a second. You can turn it off after I tell you I've copied it, and we'll see what happens. Roger, good morning. Yeah, I'm not as fast as Roger when it comes to doing it, but Rodney, if you'd like to come on, I've got your email somewhere. I think it might take me a little longer to get you. Sure, let me, I have to leave to get back to the full. I can shrink this screen down and still see chat. I just can't watch the video while I do this, but that's okay. I think I have you in my AOL under my contacts for YouTube. And, yep, right there. And let me see. That's it right there. Okay. Yeah, I get to watch it all the time. It's just really hard for me to get into a live with it. Well, I told it to send it. I don't know if it did it. Oh man, please tell me somebody didn't go ahead and get on the internet. Good morning, Manic. Well, I think my Hangouts just froze. No, I'm still moving in the background. Why is this invite screen still sitting here? Huh. Adi, you may get two of them. Let me check something out here. Oh, that's why. Okay. I see what happened now. Yeah, things are going great. It's Saturday, so I can get on. Good morning, Mel. Well, have a good day in Nashville. I hope it's better weather there than we have here. Yeah, it just went now, Rodney. I didn't realize it had you in there 2 ways, and it was waiting for me to select which one I wanted to send it to. Let me see. Back to my AOL. Back to my YouTube. Okay. Okay, Roger. No, that's my invite. Who was that from? Manic, are you King Pizza? Oh man, I need to learn how to jump into one. Yep. That's the only thing I can use at work. My iPad. And I have done lives on it as me being the originator, but I've never gotten in. Good morning, Manic. Or good evening, I guess. I wonder.
Yeah, it's good evening here. See the singlet I'm wearing?
Yeah.
I got this from a second-hand shop, and it was probably a singlet the size of probably what something Farmer JT would be wearing. And I've had to squeeze into it, and I've stretched it because it's my redneck tee. It's my redneck singlet.
I hear you.
So rednecks will wear anything, won't they?
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. So that's the singlet, and I've got my green screen up there, but I haven't unfolded. I've got to iron it out. So I've got it just hung up on tripods at the back, and then I've got this other little picture hanging down.
I see your green screen too.
Yes, I'm going to hang that out. I've got to iron it first and do a heap of stuff on it. So yes, I'm going high tech. How's everyone else? Anyone else coming on the panel?
Rodney was coming, but I guess he didn't get the email.
Okay. Because I'm in my low down mode at the moment. I've had all my excitement out of my system, so I'm not like Philly today. I'm a bit slower. I was this morning, but I'm not anymore. I've had that many live streams and that many interviews today. It's not crazy. It's been crazy.
Yes. Where are you at, buddy?
Yes, people have been inviting me, wanting to know about my new channel. So it's been a lot of fun. It's got a lot of response. How's your coins going, buddy? Because that's enough about me. Let's talk about you, because it's your show. How's your coins coming along?
I stopped making the coins. Hang on a second. Let me get something sent off to Rodney.
Yeah, send something off to Rodney. I'd like to talk
I'm
to
going to send it
Rodney.
off in a different way.
Okay, yeah, because there's many
I'm going to
ways.
use Roger's way.
Yeah, there's another port of call. It's called. Oh, I'm using it now on this other person's show. Oh, what's it called? And it's a lot stronger. It's a lot easier to use. I'm just thinking what it's called.
Okay, there we go.
I do have it. I can't remember now. But it's like Hangouts.
Oh, Rodney's asking me. Hang on, Rodney. I'll go back and double check. I think it's one we used before, Rodney, but I'm not sure. Let me go back to my AOL and check my sent mail. I've got one at Yahoo.
I've just had a couple other invites to Hangouts.
The one that has Delco 72 in it.
I've had enough of them. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah,
But I can speak.
Come on. I just need your email,
I can speak to Palmer later. I've just had 2 other invites to Hangouts, but I've picked you. Because I haven't spoken to you for a while.
One by the invite button, and I sent you one from my AOL with the link in it. Sometimes that works better. Yeah, I've yet to figure out why invite works for 50% of the people, and then the other 50%, you got to go and send them an email.
Yeah, like it didn't even it worked for me when Cab 7, and for Roger, sometimes 50% his works. He had a lot of problems with getting what's his name on, the old guy from
Mitch
from Ireland. Ireland it was.
Oh, Ireland.
What's his name again? Rolex. Had a lot of trouble with him. He had a lot of trouble with a few people. He had a lot of trouble with Paul too, didn't he? Getting Paul on the first time.
Well, we had trouble with Paul the first time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I found out that Paul, I can't send the invite through Hangouts. I got to send him an email with the link in it. I just send an invite to, and it works just fine.
Yeah, and it seems to work just fine.
You were talking about coins.
Rodney's on.
There's the
fans
Rodney? I'm making. That's the fans I'm making.
This is the bearded club.
Well,
good morning, guys.
But that's the fan I'm making for the church, guys.
Okay, very nice.
That's what I'm working on now instead of coins. It works real good.
Oh, wonderful.
So, and it was totally by mistake. I tried to make a print for somebody on here for their channel, and it failed. And when I pulled the raft up, the raft looked like that, and I went, man, that's pretty good. So then it evolved into actually making something that size for the church.
Wow.
Put them down in the pews, and when churches get hot when too many people will come, and that's no such thing as too many. The more the merrier. Or if it's the middle of the summer and we're being cheap with the air conditioning, it gets kind of warm.
Okay.
So Rodney, what's up, buddy?
Not much at all. Just a typical Saturday morning in Virginia. Of course, my wife got me some honeydews. So
you got this rain?
Well, we had some earlier this morning. It's not raining at the moment, but it's not sunny either. So I expect it's probably going to rain off and on all day.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to happen tomorrow. It's supposed to have a lot of rain. I just don't know where it's coming from because I looked at the radar and I don't see any coming, but you never know.
Yeah. Hey, Manny, how you doing, buddy?
I'm cool, buddy. How are you?
I'm living the dream, brother.
I am too, buddy. I wake up every morning down the lake and I take my dog down there, and that's another story. The dog got taken by someone down there today. She went down there on my own. I said, I'll be down there in a minute. So she goes down and wanders down there, and if no one's down there, she comes straight back. Because it was a hot day, these 2 people picked her up, but they took her straight to the vet.
Asgard, I didn't see you put your email in. Where did it go?
Yeah, I was a bit annoyed because they come to my door and said, have you lost a dog? I said, no, not really. I said, I went down to, I have, but I haven't. I said, my neighbour went down looking for her and she was gone. Well,
Huh.
these two people, after 5 minutes, took her to the nearest vet. But they didn't bring her back when they found out the address. They left her at the vet, so then I had to travel a half an hour to go and get her in the heat. So I wasn't
Wow.
very impressed. But the short story, all I know is I'm happy because I've got her back. That's all that matters. They were trying to do the right thing, but they just didn't do it right.
Yeah.
So I've got to appreciate that. As long as my dog's okay.
Good you got her back.
That's it. I wouldn't part with her. She's here on the mat sleeping. Or no, she's not. She's doing what dogs do, sniffing between their legs.
Hey,
Irish train guy. Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
How you
And good
going,
morning,
buddy?
Dave.
How
Or
you
good
going,
afternoon.
buddy?
Asgard, I didn't see your email, so if you're waiting on an email, I just need to see your email real quick, and you can take it out as soon as I copy it.
Yeah, come on, Asgard. I'd like to see you. Hugh, isn't it?
Yeah, I understand, Mel. Just don't be texting while driving, buddy.
A Mel out on the road, is he?
He's headed to Nashville to meet up with somebody to go do some flying.
Oh,
And
that'd
I
be
think he's
cool.
eventually going to end up at Paul Murray's house up in Michigan, maybe next weekend or this weekend. I don't know.
If he's listening, tell him that, or I'll tell him, that I actually purchased one of those Chinese cameras that he was recommending, the mock-up GoPro.
Yeah, those work really good from what I've heard.
Yeah, I paid less than $50, and I think I paid $43 Australian.
Yeah,
off
and
of eBay.
That sure beats 300 or 400.
But that's Australian money, so that's like $25 USA.
Yeah,
And that's what I paid for it. It was probably half the price of all the others. Exactly the same model. So I'm getting one of them. I didn't think I'd be owning a GoPro because I thought I wouldn't be able to afford one. Well, at least if this is a Chinese one, and if I lose it, it's only $43 down the drain.
yeah, they're pretty decent cameras.
He reckons they are, and and if he recommends it, and I know what he's like, he's budget friendly, Mel is, but he won't want to buy crap either.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of reviews on those particular cameras, and they work really well.
That's
and they are
good.
very inexpensive.
So yeah, I was going to take advice from Mel for sure.
Okay, Asgard, gotcha. Okay, guys, I'm still here. I'm just going to be over on my AOL, see if I can find Asgard's.
No worries, we'll talk amongst ourselves.
Okay, that's Hugh. Gotcha, buddy. Hang on a second. And let me see if I can do this. And do that. And do that.
Whose shirt you got on today, buddy?
I got
drone pulls. Oh, cool. And you got Mel's hat?
I got drone pool and Mel's
Hugh, it's
hat.
on its way.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't got the Canadian hub shirt on today. I got my Aussie redback singlet.
I didn't know they had rednecks in Australia.
They actually do. There's rednecks all over the world. The only difference is they refer to them as bogans here in Australia.
As
but they dress they dress the same. They talk the same. The only difference is it's no different to America and Australia. They just choose different words, but they sound the same. They do the same crazy ass things. They are ridiculous. And this channel's just a comedy channel, by the way. It's not redneck versus redneck. It's the humour side of it, so it's going to be kid-friendly. So there'll be a lot of beeps and with any cussing and whatnot. So I've got to be on the ball with that. And it's just a bit of fun.
Sounds like a cool channel.
I think it can work into something very serious, I reckon. We're only doing it... Sorry?
Is it one you started, or?
Yes, yep. Started from scratch. Myself and farmer JT, we've started from scratch, and it's only happened in the last 4 days.
Okay, I'll have
And
to.
we nearly got 500 subscribers.
Wow.
I've been beaten on my subscribers' doors and promoting the channel, because under the YouTube guidelines, we're allowed to promote a channel under the Third Person Act.
I see.
So we can promote it, but we're not allowed to do sub for sub.
Gotcha.
So we do our homework, and we can get anywhere. Go on.
Hey, I just want to say good morning to Paul Murray and the Irish Train guy, Camro Drone, Roland, and I thought Dennis Lovelady was in here.
Dennis,
he was earlier. He
got a call from his wife, and Dennis left to go talk to his wife.
Ah, okay.
Oh, but he will be back, won't he?
Yeah, she had called, and he went to talk to her. Well, I'm trying, Paul, but this is a challenge today. Let me try it this way.
Have you guys heard about the new policies relating to giveaways?
I've been
I
here.
don't do giveaways for that reason.
Yeah, we're not. So I'm not allowed to do any giveaways anymore because the way that I wanted to promote them won't work. But there is a loophole, and this is what I wanted to take an opportunity to a few people around the place of showing the loophole, because I was promoting my channel and I got a message, a notification up there by Green Bay Wacky. And he was doing a video. I watch all of Green Bay Wackies, even though he's a silly person, because that's his channel.
Fun.
He has a lot of fun, but I take his other videos very seriously, because you can't be funny all the time. Sometimes sometimes you got to have videos that are serious, and because he cares. So I will listen to his stuff, even though he does parodies and all the rest of it. He's a jokester. And he was telling us about the giveaways and that. So I listened to the lot, and I went and checked out the policies. So there is other ways to do promotions and giveaways. We've got the luck of the draw, because we'll be able to, with farmers' expertise, he'll be able to promote channels. He'll be able to do thumbnails for people. He'll be able to do banners for people as prizes, and that does under the guidelines. He can do those sort of things without coming under the guidelines of giving giveaways. So they're not classed as giveaways. They're classed as promoting channels and helping other channels out. So there is other ways of doing things.
Good morning, Hugh.
Morning, guys.
How you going,
Good morning, Hugh.
I'm
nice puppy.
The frozen Canadian waste here.
It's
a chilly morning.
How's your big sword? Not that we're comparing swords.
How's
Hey.
all right, man? Thanks for asking.
The other day, Hugh, I was on someone's chat, on someone's live stream.
Yeah.
Getting interviewed. And when before I got on there, I was writing all in caps, because on my redneck channel, I just type in caps.
Yeah.
And his Nightbot was going crazy. He didn't like me writing caps. And so I wrote in there, I says, I write in caps because I have a small PP.
Oh. Compensation.
So you're
by
compensating.
Text size.
Yes.
Most men would just.
Paul, I sent you a link. I don't know if you got it or not.
So I tried to.
How's it been going, Hugh?
Hey, going well, Rodney. Can't complain, buddy. You?
Like I told Manic, I'm living the dream.
I was out in the bush logging yesterday. Had a good day. I'm tired though today. I tell you.
Yeah, no doubt.
For that stuff.
I saw that video.
You know, I can't complain because my neighbor's 75 years old and he was out doing most of the work. I was just filming, right? So.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that video you posted on that.
Oh, I'm glad you got a chance to watch it. Yeah, it's interesting to share, just kind of share where you live. Like I love seeing where you guys live, and it's just neat to see different places of the world.
Yeah.
Hello, Camero. Welcome from Japan.
Who is that drone camera? I see it.
Camero.
Camera, sorry, from Japan.
No, I bet you I can hang my iPad there. Let's see.
Well, how's the doggy like the cold?
She doesn't mind. Well, I don't know. She's kind of shivering right now, but she's a big dog. She'll figure it out. People have dogs outside here. They tie them out all year round. The huskies and sled dogs, things like that. But this is a coonhound. She's not used to this kind of weather. She's kind of shivering right now.
Yeah, she has short hair, so she's going to be a little colder.
Yeah. So, Rodney, you're down in Virginia. I was down there for 10 years.
Oh, Rodney's got a fit.
Oh, sure miss those winters.
I got around to it.
You got around to it. Yeah.
So, what were you doing down here, you?
I was working.
Falls on.
Yeah, I worked in tech for a long time.
Hey, Paul. Does this look familiar, Paul?
All right. Paul Murray in the house.
Good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, they ought to call when the hangouts comes on. They ought to call it hanging out with your friends.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Friends with benefits, because you always bring brownies that make me hungry, right?
Well, here, if you'd like one.
Oh, you bastard.
Go ahead and grab it right there.
He's got something in those brownies. There's something in those brownies, and I'm almost positive it's not legal.
Well, it would be if he was up here in Canada.
Hey guys, we can play that game. 5 people on the panel. Who's the odd one out?
I'm a little odd.
Who's the odd one out? We all are. But StarCop Rick, he has no beard, so he's the odd one out.
Oh.
Yeah, if we can play that game.
Yeah, but he's
because I'm still married.
I don't know.
You're still married, yes.
And
who
doesn't
isn't
like
here
beard.
married?
Actually,
Yeah.
I want to shave mine off, but my wife won't let me.
Really?
Oh, she must. Oh, does it tickle her a bit, Rodney? On the cheek?
We won't go down that road.
Oh my God! I wasn't going there.
Oh,
I was going on the cheek.
Hey, Paul, I saved these just for today, and now I can tell why you can't stop eating them.
That's funny, Rodney.
They're great. They're great, aren't they?
My God, they're good. Oh, for those of you who came in late and didn't get to see it, there's my church fan. I finally got them to print right by using good filament.
Oh, good.
So they work just fine.
Now, you see, these inventions, they're very country specific. We don't have church fans in Canada because it's friggin' cold.
Yes.
I hear that.
We used to have them here in Australia, but I don't see anyone at church with fans anymore.
Oh, really? Oh,
We
I
keep-
guess you would.
We've been putting them down in the little holders for the songbooks on the back of the pews.
Okay.
They stick them down in there, and most of ours have come up missing or they're broken. I said, well, let me see what I can do.
I mean, when I was younger, we used to go to outback churches, and some of them used to be like only be able to hold a few people in there, and some of them you'd swelter, and they'd even melt the candles. It was that hot in those churches. Hot. I don't know how they survived.
Is it just me, or is Trevor? It looks like he's like zoomed in, like really. I see his nose and his glasses, and
I don't know.
You don't want to see the rest of them.
No. I've got my redneck singlet on.
oh yeah.
I'm only
as
sitting
we're
in my
back
lounge chair.
inside.
I'm just sitting in my lounge chair relaxing tonight.
There you go.
Hugh, I bet you didn't have any trouble getting that dog back inside.
Do you know what? She's still outside.
Really?
I came in and she's still doing something out there, playing with a stick. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, she's acclimatized now. She's a Canadian coon now.
I'm really
There you
digging your beard there, Hugh. It's coming across nicely.
Well, thanks, bud. Oh yeah.
See if I can get
Well,
some
you know
more
what?
volume.
See, the thing is, I got that channel icon done, and now I'm trying to grow my beard to match
Yeah.
my channel icon.
Yeah, I hear that. Yep.
Well, it's getting there.
It is. It really is. It's starting to look very impressive.
I'm just trying to get the mountain man look.
EBR, welcome.
You might be
see
able
you.
to get
you're killing it.
Hugh, you might be able to get on the set of Vikings or something as a guest. Yeah, that'd be a great show.
Feel wall up, bro.
Has anybody been getting any flying in?
What's flying?
I flew yesterday, Paul.
Did you? I tried yesterday, and I was successful on one attempt, not so successful on the other. I took my new Enterprise Duo down by the bridge, launched it. I had to do a recalibration for which didn't seem quite right because I'm only I live a mile away from there. But I did a recalibration because it was doing that little moving around a little bit, and so then when I went to go to the thermal imaging, all it had was the portion from the RGB camera, which is the outlines and the black back screen, and no no thermal. And so I shut it all down, started it all up, shut it all down, went through the whole process, backed it back up, came back home, and I says, gosh, set it here on the desk, turned it on, thermal imaging was working. Carried it out the back door, flew around the schoolyard and around the area, the thermal's working. I was like, I don't know. Could be settings, could be a whole bunch of things. I don't know. So anyway, Roger over at Canadian Drone Hub wanted to know if I'd gotten any photos or videos, and I hadn't done that yet. So I flew around a little bit and got some photos and video of both RGB and thermal, only to find out, because I think somebody told me, but I searched and searched on YouTube, and nobody was explicit saying it actually records two video images, one RGB regular and one thermal at the same time on the SD card. So in essence, you can go back and pull a RGB photo or a section of the video, and then you could match it up with a section of the file that is the thermal. So it's cool. I haven't played with that portion of editing yet, but I was glad to see, because I was wondering in my mind, if you were out in the field and you were doing a search and rescue or an inspection or whatever, I'm sure you'd want to have record of both,
Talk about big boys' toys, eh?
Yeah.
I've always fantasized about having a thermal camera.
See, Hugh, I type in caps. Paul has big toys.
Yeah.
big toys and brownies.
Do you get the joke there?
Yeah, I got it.
I think a couple of you's got that joke.
Teeny wee wee.
Listen, hi, puppy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She's taking over.
Oh, somebody's doggy's in. What a pretty pup.
It's all good. Paul knows I love him. He's all right. He's a good dude.
All right, pup.
Look at him. He's laying down.
I'm lying down, man. It's Saturday.
Yeah, relax.
I'm
relaxing him. I'm relaxing in my recliner chair too.
The sock puppet's here.
Who's
The
that
sock
teeny
puppet's
weeny?
there.
Who's that
Yes.
teeny weeny?
Oh boy. Here we go.
Paul's got a sock
puppet, man. Holy shit.
to overcompensate.
Did they say teeny weeny about me?
Oh,
Man.
Go back and lay down. Go back and lay down. Go on.
Yeah, I'm
to
not
lay
going
down.
anywhere.
You're a top dude there, Paul. You're funny.
oh Lord.
I can barely walk after all that. Yes,
Hey, Trevor, were you on Roger's channel the other day.
Probably.
It was in the morning when Ben
Probably.
came out. Ben,
I was there. I witnessed it. I witnessed the whole
been.
channel.
came out in a diaper. Oh,
Yes, I seen it.
That was hilarious.
I watched the whole lot.
in fact, I think Andrew fell right off his chair.
Yeah, but Andrew knows what to expect.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was that the
I'm
same
not
day
sure,
Drone
but
Gear
after
came out
seeing
on
Mars in a
CBS?
maid's outfit, I'm not sure I want to see Ben in a diaper.
Oh man,
It wasn't. It was not nice, but it was funny.
And then he took the diaper off and put it on his head, and he was playing like he was some kind of an Italian chef or something. And it was like,
I was disappointed.
I'm just thinking,
I was disappointed because I was on my redneck channel, and I was about to get an auction going of $10 for it, but my redneck channel wouldn't accept my credit card. It only accepts the credit card on my Manic Magic channel. So it was too late the time I tried to get on my Manic Magic channel to put $10 on to start getting it auctioned off. And then Roger would have benefited their benefits there.
well, you gotta love Roger over there. He sits there in his chair and he tries to be so above everything, but every once in a while he starts, the tears start coming down. He just,
you know, he wants to get into it too, but he's got to be the grandfather. He's got to be cool and try to keep everybody.
Of course he is. Like Mr. Crowley says, because Roger used to laugh about how he used to trip over his tongue when he did I Love My Blow-Up Drone, and he used to say I love my blow-up doll by mistake. And Mr. Crowley says, yeah, he's a deviant just like the rest of us. He said it in a nice way, obviously.
yeah. Well, you know, I've met so many people. You know, I started out, you know, just kind of watching different channels and everything, but Canadian Drone Hub really drew me in, and then that led to getting to know all of you great guys and Rick and so many others, Andrew, and of course, you know, when I go to Andrew's channel, I don't know if you guys have the same problem, but my old eyes, I can't read that fast. I've never seen a chat fly like that in my life.
I'm too slow for that.
I have to freeze his chat in order to find people.
Yeah,
There's
I
tried that, Rick, but the problem is when I unfroze it, I was like 3 days behind.
Yeah.
So it was like,
yeah, exactly. Well, it's a different audience in there, right? It's a much younger demographic.
oh yeah.
Are you saying they're not old?
No, well, Canadian Drum Hub, there's a lot of old dudes like us, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
calling it like it is. And Andrew's channel, there's a lot of younger people. So
I'm trying to figure out who's the young guy here. Is it Hugh or Manic?
I'm 50.
I'm 48.
That's
Manic.
Manic.
Oh yeah,
You baby, you.
you big baby, I got you, man.
So Manic's the baby, huh?
Yeah, and Paul.
Yep,
Yep.
and I'm the old man,
So
How old
here's
are you,
another.
Paul?
67.
So
Oh, yeah,
here's another.
you're the old man.
Here's another part of that game. Who's the odd one out? Who's old enough to wear a nappy?
Me, actually.
All of us.
Well, I'm not far behind Paul. I'm 65, so.
Yeah.
Oh, we share something there, buddy.
All right.
Oh, is that right? You
Yeah.
65? That's a good age.
It's okay. It's better than dead.
It's a good age,
Absolutely.
and exactly like Rick says, it's a good age, better than being the other, but it's also you start to get, when you get over 62, you start to realize that, hey, this party doesn't last forever, you know?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm getting older, man. I'm getting closer to the finish line. That's all I can say. You know, I'm like, you know, this is life's hard. Like, yeah, I'm winning. I'm also almost there, man. It's like a marathon. Just gotta keep pushing and get that finish line.
I think at the age of about 50 or so, I started to realize a lot of that when every morning I get up and look in the mirror and I see more and more of my dad, you know?
Yeah. I look a split image of my dad. Full beard, everything. When I had my beard right down to this level, I looked exactly like my dad, my biological dad.
Paul, I don't know how much you know about FLIR, but have you ever heard the term crossover?
FLIR crossover? No.
Okay, it
No.
generally happens twice a day. It's somewhat predictable, but it's a period in the day when the amount of energy everything is emitting is the same, and you won't get a picture.
Really?
So if that ever happens, or the picture will be very, very washed out. If that ever happens, it's the time of day that's causing it. It's not your camera.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
See, people
you know,
think FLIR sees heat. It's not technically heat. It's IR radiation caused by heat. And the reason you can see things is nothing is the same density. So at the same temperature, it's nothing to do with them being the same temperature. They're different densities, so they radiate at different amounts.
It's a combination then, would you say, of ambient heat, solar heat, all of that going together? So would it just wash the screen out? Like I was trying to fly about 5 o'clock, 5:15 down by the water, and it was just, you know, the IR portion of the picture was just black screen overlaid with the SMX, just the outlines of things. I could see cars going by and I could see that, but I could not get any of the color radiation.
What it depends on, Paul, is a little thing called the MRT. The MRT is the minimum resolvable temperature. What they do is they take two identical types of material and they put them in like one in front of the other, and then they heat them to the same exact temperature. Okay. And it's a cold temperature. Actually, they're not heating them, they're cooling them down. And then what they do is they start heating one up, and whatever the number of degrees it takes to see it, that's the MRT. The MRT on the Apache is classified. All I can tell you is it's well below tenths of thousandths of a degree. It does not take more an Apache to see the difference. The crossovers where all radiation is the same amount. It has nothing to do with the temperatures being the same. It's just that as the trees warmed up and something else warmed up, they warmed up at a different rate, and all of a sudden the amount of emissions of IR got to be identical, and then you'll just see washout.
Okay, in your experience, Rick, when that happens, I would imagine you've seen it. Is the screen like that typical infrared, just a blaze of color and nothing?
Yeah, it's basically either all black hot or white hot.
Okay, so mine was just all black. Maybe
it may have been a period of crossover.
I'm waiting for FLIR to come to the Tello.
Yeah.
I hope it's soon.
Good luck.
I don't think that would be economically.
You
don't think so? I think a lot of people would enjoy that.
You gotta start saving now, Hugh. Start saving now.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine a micro FLIR? I'm sure they have them, but hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know.
Oh, I bet. No, never worked with any of that stuff. I worked with electromagnetic compatibility stuff, doing design work, but never with any kind of thermal imaging. That's fascinating to hear all that background, StarCop. That's really cool.
Well, before I sold my Inspire, I had the XT camera, because you know the Inspires you can just take the cameras on and off and put them on. And I had the XT thermal imaging camera, and it was astounding. Oh, there you go, my friend. There you go.
It was Brownie too.
Yes, he does.
That's not right.
It was actually astounding the first time you used it. But the problem is that you had to fly that camera, and therefore,
give me the Brownie. I'm trying to grab the Brownie.
Therefore, there you go. Therefore,
hey guys, I'll be right back. I got to get some coffee.
Okay.
And some more brownies.
Oh, you bastards.
You had to fly with whatever you started out with. And when they came out with this new Enterprise Duo, that meant you could fly a pattern using the RGB, and then you could also have thermal imaging on board and not have to say, okay, I found an area that's interesting. I got to fly back, land, change cameras, start up again, come back again, and do it. So that was the enticement for me to try it.
Cool.
You know, the interesting thing about that crossover we were talking about, Paul, like I said, generally 2 times a day, sometimes as little as 1. And there is a way to predict it. There's actually crossover charts out there that you can get from the National Weather Service, and they'll tell you when you can expect it in your area. But we also flew with goggles.
What's the title? What's that chart with? In other words, like if I were to search,
I'll have to find it at work and give you an access to it if I can.
Okay.
The one I go to is classified, I think, but I'm not sure because it would tell the enemy when we can't fly it.
You could tell Paul, but then you'd have to kill him, or at least take his tongue.
I'll see if I can find a non-classified access to it.
Yeah, you know, if the Weather Service is just putting it out there, maybe for, you know, commercial pilots or for even regular pilots, if they happen to have that equipment on board, that'd be cool.
Actually, it's the Air Force that puts it out for us.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm not sure if it's available or not, but I'll try and find one. What I'm getting at is when you fly with goggles are light amplification. They millions of times amplify what ambient light there is. And the really neat thing is when the goggles are working really good, you can see with the goggles and you look down at the FLIR and it's going through crossover and you can't see anything. And then all of a sudden the FLIR starts getting better and the fog rolls in and now the goggles shut down because of the fog, but the FLIR is seeing perfectly.
It'll see through.
You can actually, if you've flown with both, you can actually see that transition from when the ambient light's working better and now all of a sudden the FLIR's working better. But FLIR kicks butt.
Rick, what you've been able to experience is most of all the rest of us can only dream of.
Oh, yeah.
I understand. And so your taxes paid for it, so thank you.
Or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was an instructor for, well, 18 years instructing, and let's see, 9 of that was in Apaches.
Wow.
Air Force or Army? Army, wasn't it?
Army, yeah. We're the only ones that have the Apache, as far as I know.
Yeah,
that is freaking cool. You know, I've never even been in a helicopter. I've been in all kinds of ultralights. I've owned a paraglider. I've never been in a helicopter though. That's weird.
Well, I'm afraid of heights. How weird is that?
Well, you know, I was afraid of heights, and so I decided to go skydiving because I didn't want to be afraid of heights, and I did it.
Well, the Army let me do that, but it didn't help.
Well, yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't like looking down from a building, but when I jump out of a plane, I had no problem. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, one of my little tests for guys that say they've been jumping out of planes is I say, yeah, how was it jumping out of that 141? And they tell me, oh, it was fine. I says, you're lying. You don't jump out of a 141. You get sucked out the door by the jet blast. It's got a blast. It's got a blast door. You know how you see all the movies that says stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door?
Yeah.
Jump right out and count to 4. We have 4 stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door. You're gone. All you got to get close to the door. It just sucks you right out. There ain't a whole lot of jump to it.
You're falling, yeah.
Well, you know, the guys that really impressed me, the guys that really impressed me, Rick, are the guys that have those glider suits on and they jump out of an aircraft and then they put their arms out and their legs out and they glide around as they're descending. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of guys have died.
Some of those go through like the Rockies or the Alps.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, the top guy that used to do that, used to fly through the Alps, that used to do all those like tight maneuvers around the stone work and stuff, he died a couple of years ago. Like the top.
Did he hit a cumulogenic granite cloud?
I don't know. Something happened. It was a malfunction during his.
Oh, that leads back into the. There are no there are bold pilots and old pilots, or in there. How's that go again?
There are bold pilots
and
old pilots, but there are no old bold pilots.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm an old pilot.
I don't know. I'm pretty old.
I stopped being bold. I retired from flying. Instead took up drones.
You know, somewhere out there on the internet, and Manic will like this, a guy in Australia went up to, I want to say it was either 10 or a little higher in an aircraft with a bat suit, and he raced a Porsche across country. and he
Wow.
won.
That's cool.
But he needed the altitude so he could have far enough to glide, obviously. But
Yeah.
there's somewhere on YouTube, I don't know how he would find it, but I have watched it, and he actually beat the Porsche. Now, granted, the Porsche wasn't going straight. The Porsche was going through following the road, which was very curvy and a long way to go, and this guy was going straight line. So, yeah, I can see how that could happen. But it was very interesting. Rodney, welcome back.
Yeah, I used to really like the powered paraglider. It was nice because I had an electric start on it. So, you start the motor, you'd launch, and then you get up to altitude, like, say, 3,000 feet or something, and just shut the engine off and just sail. And just so peaceful out there, man. Oh, beautiful.
There's a guy around here that has one. I saw it for the first time over at the airport weekend before last. I wished I had my drone with me. I got pictures of them, but yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Like, to have your own aircraft for under 10,000. I was just blown away that I could do that. It was great.
One sec.
Our paragliders technically seen as a aircraft.
They're an ultralight.
Yeah.
So they're governed by the same laws in the States.
So they are under FAA regulations too, right?
Well, yes, but there's no. When I was down in the States, because that's when I had mine, was when I lived in Virginia, there were no regulations. I could fly wherever I was allowed to fly, but I didn't have to technically have training or a pilot certificate or anything like that.
Yeah, right? There's no certification.
But I did obviously go for training because it's dangerous and complicated. So.
I can imagine someday, maybe in the future, or just in a little caricature skit where a guy's flying, having a great time up there in his paraglider, flying with his paraglider. All of a sudden, up pulls another guy in the same thing with the lights going and flashing. Pull it over.
Yeah, that reminds me of an interesting story. I was up in Pennsylvania last year sometime. I forget when. I think it was around Christmas time, but I was flying my drone over a couple of the farms up there, and I heard this ultralight come flying by, and I just stopped my drone where it was at and left it hovering because I didn't know. I knew where my drone was. I just didn't know where the paraglider was. I just heard him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went by after I did end up seeing him. And after he went by, then I brought the drone back home. When I was editing the video, I could actually see him flying by.
Oh, wow.
He was a good 200-300 yards from where my drone was. So everything was safe, but he was pretty much at the same level as my drone as well. So
yeah.
Sadly, if he'd have been approaching you from the rear, you would have never seen him, right?
I don't know if he'd seen me. I wouldn't have seen him for sure. But fortunately, I mean, like I said, far away. So
Rick Halber and Mason Kaiser, welcome aboard. I gave you guys some blue riches. I've seen you around enough to know. Yeah, you guys talking about paragliders. They share something with helicopters. They are the lowest on the right of way.
Really?
We have to get out of anybody else's way. The highest right of way, you'll never believe what it is. It's a balloon.
I didn't know that.
Because the more maneuverable you are, the less right of way you have. So because we can maneuver so well, we're at the bottom of the chart. We have to get out of everybody's way.
Problem with paraglider is your speed is so low that it's sometimes hard.
Yeah, but you're maneuverable. You can maneuver.
Well, you can maneuver, but the problem is you don't have a lot of speed to move out of the way. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's true. That's true. But if you look at it in there, it mentions power paragliders, helicopters, and some other things. They're the bottom of the chart.
Didn't know that. That's interesting.
Not that I ever want to get close enough to anybody I want to get out of their way, though. I've been there.
One time I was launching at a Warrenton, Virginia, and you know how there's, often the wind is extremely fast once you get up above, that layer of mechanical turbulence. And so it was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 knots at the ground. And then as soon as I launched, about 30, 40 feet up, it was probably 30, 40 knots. And the max speed of my paraglider was about 25 knots. So I start flying backwards. I'll tell you, that was terrifying. Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways,
That would do it to you.
Back like a sailboat on 45-degree angles to get back to the airport. It took me like half an hour to get back, where it only took me about 5 minutes to get downfield. That was quite a flight.
I used to like to mess with people in the simulator when they'd be doing a ILS, like a Huey simulator, because original patches can't do it. The E model can do them now, but the original A model couldn't do them. And they'll be coming, look at that, whatever their airspeed is. They're doing a 90 knot approach. You give them a 110 knot headwind and see if they can figure out what's going on, because what it ends up doing is it flies them backwards out the approach.
Yeah.
And they're thinking they're flying in on the approach.
That's quite a feeling.
It'll fry their brains in a heartbeat.
Yeah. It fried my
You're
brains.
welcome,
It was
Mason.
the first time it ever happened to me, and I shit my pants, man. I tell you.
I'll
But
bet.
I didn't panic. I just, I momentarily went, and then figured it out.
Well,
I
on a
can't
windy
see
day,
chat.
I'm here to say, I think everybody that flies on this panel knows on a windy day, you fly into the wind to go away, and then that way,
Yes.
when you turn around, you've got a better chance of making it home.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I always check the wind direction.
I always do too.
That determines where I go.
And then still add a bit of more percentage in case the winds get bigger, greater crosswinds, because crosswinds can actually, it's like boats or anything, crosswinds like on a ferry or whatever, can make you a lot slower.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I very seldom can get below 65% on a battery when I'm flying for a distance or trying to cover an area. Just when I get to 65, I start getting nervous. I turn around and start heading back, put another battery out and search again.
Yeah.
When I'm flying down doing my ship videos around the ships, I'm always in cognizant of where is, because it's mostly parkland where cars are parked and there's walkways and everything. Where's a good landing spot? Where's another? Is it above all? If I were to run into any kind of problem, I want to get it over land and landed. So
Yep.
And I just soon have to walk and go get it than I would lose it.
Yeah, the only thing bad about drones is they don't auto rotate.
Yeah.
Well, they
That would be
do,
nice.
but not very well.
No, they fall pretty good. They
Because
don't auto rotate.
I've seen them rotate when they're coming down.
Now, there's a couple of manufacturers that make these little, basically explosive parachutes.
Parachutes,
that
yep.
come off now, So.
Yeah, my luck says it'll be like they'll come all the way down to the ground and then the parachute will pop up.
Or here's the scenario. I don't know where I saw it, but I think I saw it in the chat or somewhere. The guy said he had one of those on his drone and he was flying over water, and he developed a problem. He was still unable to maneuver it and was coming back to shore. Just before he got to shore, the parachute went off and the wind was blowing offshore, and there went the drone up to the water.
Oh no!
That's a consideration to take into account right there.
Yeah, 'cause once that parachute goes, you got no control.
That
That reminds me. I bought these floats for my Mavic Air. Now they look just like you'd imagine, like floats on a seaplane, right?
Uh-huh.
In theory, they sound like an amazing idea, and I tested them in a bucket of water, and I was able to land my Mavic with no problem. Now, the manufacturer did say that it had to be on very calm water. So anyway, one day I took the Mavic Air out, and we were on the boat, and I decided, well, I'll land it in the water. I'll test these things out, right? There was a tiny little ripple, and the Mavic Air tried to compensate for the ripple of water, and the bloody thing flipped over right into the water. Oh,
Same thing happened to Dustin Dunn in Hawaii when he bought them and put them in his swimming pool.
Yeah, so I was thinking that.
And then boom, over it went.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't watch that.
I still
video
can't
first.
believe the
I wish I
FAA
had
has not had a talk with that young man. So
That cost me a Mavic Air refresh. That was $100.
Oh, yeah. Well, so it was $100 lesson versus a $1,000 lesson.
Thank God. Yes. But the nice thing is the float saved the drone, because otherwise the drone would have sunk.
Oh, you would have lost it. Yeah.
I would have totally lost the drone, but still.
Well, probably Rick can tell us more about the the downwash over water versus downwash of props over land. You know, it's completely different.
Is it?
Because it displaces the water, right, Rick?
Well, hang on just a second. I accidentally clicked on myself. Okay.
Hey, good morning, RC Crazy. How you doing today, buddy?
I was trying to type that in, and I couldn't get it typed in for some reason. Yeah.
What's up,
What you're talking about, Paul, is
Good morning, Eric.
Okay. Ground over flat terrain is really good because the induced flow comes down, goes like this, and it just keeps on going, and the vortices don't form. But anytime you're over rough terrain, water, tall grass, anything like that, the flow comes down, it starts to go out, but then it goes right back up in, and you don't get the same amount of reduction of vortices. So you get more turbulent air when you're hovering over other macros. But yeah, water is a B word. It really is. It's not fun.
I've been
because it becomes unstable, and you can actually see it. If you get real low over water, you can see it actually start to bob a little bit. And Rick, does it save it if you keep a forward motion or side motion or whatever?
Motion isn't that bad. There's a video out there somewhere where some folks filmed, and I want to say it was Lake Tahoe. I know it was an Air Force Black Hawk, but it was flying low and started to bring it to a hover, and it actually sank and touched down in the water.
Wow.
And the splash stalled up the tail rotor, and they had their hands full for a couple of seconds. It was funnier than shit. But I bet they never did that again.
Was it spinning around, was it? Was it spinning around?
Completely around, but you could tell that he had started to lose effectiveness by the way it was flying. He got way too low.
You know, and the after effect of that is, imagine having to clean out your flight suit.
Yeah. Well, you don't have,
be full of brownies.
Flight suit. You have to go and have the seat cushion removed from your butt.
Oh yeah.
There's guys out there that say they still have seat cushion pieces up there in their butt from things that happened to them in combat. So I don't know.
Now that's why I want one of those splash drones, right? You can put the damn thing down in the water. You can fly it in the water so that your camera can act as a fish finder. That looks like a great machine.
Yeah, but how much is the dollar? What dollar value is it?
I think they're about 2,000. So they're about the same price as a Mavic 2.
I thought.
They're actually not that expensive, but I bought a Mavic Air this year and stuff. So next time I have to replace the drone, I'll definitely buy one. They're not as good as, say, a Phantom. The Splash drone looks like a Phantom. It's got that same setup.
Bright orange.
Yeah, bright orange. It's got a very, very, very powerful gimbal so that it can operate.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, I love it.
Everybody's sitting there in the chat. Check each other out now, guys. Welcome, Raymond. Nice to see you back. Pauline, good morning. Nice to see you in here. T-Boy, didn't see you come in. Manic Boy here.
How you going, T-Boy?
Morning, everybody. I can't see chat, so good morning.
That's okay. I can't see it either. I'm just getting giggles like this. My students, when they teach back to me, and they'll draw on the board, the standard rule is 1 inch for every 10-foot classroom when you draw a letter. And these guys write the letter home to mom. And I'll be sitting in the back of the classroom like this. What are you doing? I'm changing the focal length so I can read what you're putting on the board because I can't read it with my glasses way back here. But it does work like a telescope, you know, and then I can read it. But I was going to tell you, there's a video on here somewhere. It's a helicopter, and it's hilarious but dangerous. The guy had floaties. Well, he's tied to a dock on a lake. Well, he didn't wait for his crew chief to come out and launch, so he decided to untie the helicopter, get in, and try to start it.
Uh-oh.
Now, I don't know if you know what anti-torque is, but anti-torque is why the little fan's on the back. Yeah. Because when you spin the main rotor, the fuselage wants to go the other way. Well, when you start that helicopter, he's got all the torque he can stand, but the fan ain't fast enough to stop anything. And the whole time he's trying to start it, fuselage is going around to the right like this in the water and trying to roll up and over. And, oh, my God. I bet he never did that again. But It's
so what do you have
hilarious.
to do? Just spin up the tail rotor much faster to compensate while you're starting it?
Well, yeah, you got to wait. On the ground, there's no. It happens, but you've got friction of the ground.
Yeah.
But on
yeah,
water, if he's not tied to the dock, those floaties are just going to start spinning.
Oh,
And they're
yeah,
so big and fat that when they spun, they were moving so much water, they were trying to roll him over.
Oh,
Yeah, that's-
And
wow.
he aborted the start.
Basically, Rick, it is you got to wait till everything gets up to speed. You don't see a
Yeah.
guy jump in a helicopter, turn the thing on, and you hear the turbine and him jump up in the air. He's got to wait till everything gets rotating at the proper speed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's hilarious. I mean, you can see it coming the first time you watch it. If you're a helicopter pilot, you go, he's not gonna. He is gonna.
And yet he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Lesson learned.
Oh yeah. I hope he learned it.
Well, StarCop, I'm going to pop off and get some breakfast, buddy. It was good talking to all you guys.
Hey,
Yeah,
Hugh,
right.
You too,
A little
Hugh.
bit.
Hey, you. It's good to see you, buddy.
All right, guys. I'll
Now,
see you in
now
a little
maybe I'll
while.
remember that you're human. I won't have to call you Asgard
Have
all
a
the
great
time.
day.
You call me
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you want, my friend. No,
It's
no
okay,
worries.
Hugh. You can pop off and have some breakfast, but Paul's already had his.
I know.
Paul's still working on his. He's thinking about maybe getting
See you
Tim
later,
Hortons.
fellas.
That's funny.
There you go. Roger's
Oh boy.
Rick.
How you going, Roger? Is Roger in the chat, is he?
No, I thought I saw him, but Rick's on board. He's those brownies are pretty good, aren't they, Rick?
Excellent.
Oh, you got brownies, have you, Rick?
They set over here. They sell them in these containers, and they're stacked 3 high, and I think 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 on a layer.
Oh my God.
And
Oh my God. Oh,
they just pop in your mouth, and it's just
You get those. You get those at Sam's. Sam's sells in bulk. I have to get mine at Walmart, so my boxes are smaller.
a box
I'm not-
smaller. Yep.
Yeah.
I love them, but I'm not allowed to eat them.
Well, I don't think any of us are allowed to eat them, but when you get to be 67, it's like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, but if
Mason
I was
wants
to
to-
try to eat a... Sorry, Rick.
So
Go on.
Mason wants his eggs over easy with bacon and wheat. It's on its way, Mason. Don't wait too long for it.
Paul, if I ate that box full, I'd be in a diabetic coma and I'd literally be rushed to hospital.
Oh,
Me.
So that's the difference.
that's not good.
Hi, Rodney. Rodney's just kicking back, listening.
Hey, Manic, if you're going for the effect, all we see on your camera is that little tuft of hair on top, like a rooster.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Your camera's got to be tilted down just a little bit, little more,
Okay.
little
A
more.
little bit. Is that
There
better?
you go.
Oh, all right. You want the rooster look, do you?
I think he's afraid to show off his manly body.
Yeah, I am. Oh, don't worry. I'm allowing that to be
man.
happening on my new channel. I'll be showing my manly body everywhere.
There you go.
Hey, we're all heading over to Doolin's house, man. He was having biscuits and gravy with eggs and sausage patties.
Hey,
All right.
hang on a minute. I want to show you something.
Oh, it better not be food.
I don't know what he's got. He's got as amount of appliances I used to have in my kitchen. I used to have all that stuff.
I think the first time I saw him on a live stream, I thought he was in his kitchen with all those utensils back there.
That's what he collects from his
He's got a
shops
few,
and
doesn't
stuff. Yeah, he used to have shops.
For an old guy,
Because I like cooking too, but
this is for an old guy that lives alone with his pupper dog. These are absolutely fantastic. Microwave in 2 minutes 10 seconds from full frozen.
What
And
are
they
they?
sausage and everything in them.
Yeah, those
Okay.
are pretty good. I've had those before. Those are
And
good.
they got they got egg and sausage and things like that in it, have they?
Yep. Yep, and potatoes and everything. Here's what
Oh,
they
that'd
look.
be nice.
Here's what they look like frozen.
Okay, fair enough.
And they got cheese in there, and you just pop it in 2 minutes 10 seconds. Of course, you got to vent the top. I vent it with the fork, and then off you go.
Why not? That's cool. I like that idea.
And then you chase that with brownies.
Oh my God.
Hey, Paul,
Him and his brownies.
you're a pretty smart guy. Do you know what aviation instrument led to microwave ovens?
Radar, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes,
And
I was going to answer that.
When World War II went down, the plant that made the magnetrons was getting ready to go out of business. And the guy that worked in the plant noticed that whenever he had the magnetron on, his chocolate bars were melting.
Yep.
And he said, huh. And the first one was the radar range.
Yep. Radar ranges. In fact, I think I had one of those at one time.
I did. They worked really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were
I mean,
well built.
they weren't all fancy schmancy with all kinds of real high-end timers or anything. I think you just turned the dial and that was it, you know?
All they do is it bounces around within the microwave.
Yep.
Yep. That's it.
It pings around.
Yep.
Cooks from the inside out.
That's correct.
Hey, Henry. What's up, buddy?
How is
He's mad at
Henry?
me.
I love Henry.
He's not feeling good today. He's been having some stomach problems, I guess is the best way to put it. He's okay, but he got a hold of something he probably shouldn't have got a hold of. Nothing poisonous, just something gave him a tummy ache.
Tummy ache, yep. As dogs do, they like to eat anything.
Rodney, how's your church doing? Good?
I'm sorry?
Your church?
Oh, we're doing good.
Good.
I'm still doing the videos, and
oh, that's nice.
So yeah, I don't want to break any rules, but
yeah, I understand.
If you look at one of my videos, I'm going to start putting the link to the church's YouTube there. So
yeah, I don't think ours will ever get around to doing it, but I think that's a wonderful thing you're doing. Because we've got a lot of shut-ins too, and that would be the easiest way to get a shut-in to attend church.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and I like doing it. I like editing video, so I kind of volunteered to do that, and I've been doing it ever since. So
that's a wonderful thing you're doing.
I'd like to try and get some more subscribers.
Hey, RC.
But I'm sure it'll come when it's time. So.
That is true. That is true. So you're going to fly the Duo today there, buddy?
Well, I'm thinking about it. I'm looking at it. They're calling for snow again, but right now it's not snowing. I was halfway thinking about flying it again today, and the sad part is you get out there and when I was younger, I used to rebound from that cold, but I can go down there by the water and sit in my Tahoe, nice and warm, and that's where I keep everything warmed up. Just to pop the back up, put the drone on the ground and fly, and Mia just sits in the front seat and watches me with the heat on. So I might just head out that way at some point in time, but. Then again, at 9 o'clock, Roger's coming on at Canadian Drone Hub, and you don't want to miss that because you never know. Once you miss it, yeah, it's you can go back and look at it later, but it's hilarious sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that particular stream that you're talking about. I had to watch it from the post, but it was hilarious, no doubt about it.
And Ben, he comes up with stuff. But did you see the day that he was on there? He changed costumes several times. He started out as a priest, and then he became the pregnant nun.
Yep.
And then he ended up with being a parody of the guy on PBS that used to do and talk real slow and calm, do the paintings on television, And
Bob Ross.
Yeah, of landscape.
Yeah, Bob Ross.
Mason has a question. I don't know if any of you can answer it, but he wants to know if there's any place he can get a Phantom 3 advanced controller or a good repair center other than DJI. I would think Carolina Drone.
Carolina Drones, if you want to go to the dealer, Carolina Drones. But you can also usually, if you watch eBay, you can find them. I had a controller I dropped from my Mavic 2 Zoom, and I went over there because if you go to get it from DJI, it was $295. But I got it over there, a brand new one over there for like $160. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines if he wanted to get it repaired, Carolina Drones works on things. I just don't know if they'd work on something that far, in the past.
Yeah. Well,
how much
they're pretty good about it. They've got a connection to somebody in, I think it's Texas or New Orleans or whatever, that repairs. And if they can't do it, they send it there.
But the problem is with Phantom 3s now, I don't think they've discontinued a lot of the parts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually make them anymore, the parts. It's all second-hand parts or parts that are still in stock.
Yeah.
That they might be floating around.
So that's why I say on the older stuff, I'd always check eBay because maybe there's some good stuff on there still. Because
that's right.
Because they're still perfectly good, as we all know. It's just that the industry has moved on.
Yes. And I think even a couple of the earlier Phantom 4s, a lot of parts are not available even for some of them. Some are, but not a lot of some of the parts.
Well, in the Phantom 4 case, Trevor, as you know, they started out with Lightbridge, and then they
that's right.
Next versions they moved them to OcuSync.
That's correct.
Yeah,
I've studied a lot. Studied
awesome.
A lot of videos.
Yeah, Rick, you're right. OcuSync and OcuSync 2 are just blows away Lightbridge.
They're phenomenal. Although I'll tell you, my Altel Eagle's not half bad on distance and whatnot. Gee, it got quiet once Paul left.
It's usually me.
Yeah, but you're tired. You've probably been up all night. You said you've been on a lot of lives.
It's probably 2 days now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Get a nap, baby. Get a
only
nap.
2 days. I was going to get a nap, but I had to. I promised I'd call my nephew back in hospital again. He might be coming to live with me.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, he'll help me out as well as I'll be able to help him out.
That's good. Very good.
He's turned 18, and once his mother, as soon as he's turned 18, his mother's got mental health issues, and she doesn't get funded by the government anymore. So she's kicked him to the curb and kicked him out of house.
Mm. Hey, RC, are you still in the house? RC Crazy? I know he went and got coffee and came back. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not.
Here you go, guys.
Oh, there you go.
All cooked up right there. That's all cooked up.
Now we know where he went.
Now he's really going to be eating.
Yeah.
He had to cook it, Rodney. He took it out of the box.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's true. I mean, I guess he had to cook it.
Yeah. Once you take it out of the box, you pretty much got to cook it. And once you cook it, you got to eat it.
Anything for you guys.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
You're all hard, brother.
RC, I don't know if you know about the fans I was making for church, but I know you weren't here earlier. I know you're a good Christian. I made those for my local church. I'm going to use them as fans. We're going to put them down in the little holders that hold the Bibles and the songbooks on the back of the pews. So on those days when we get really, really crowded and it gets a little bit on the warm side, we're going to kind of put those in there for folks to use like this.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. I really like it.
I'm hoping they like it because I haven't asked them yet.
Oh, they'll like it. I'm a pretty good judge. They'll like it. They'll like it.
Yeah, I don't think he fixed it for everybody. Paul's kind of tight when it comes to food.
Oh, I know. If he could pass it through the screen.
There you go.
That'd be great.
There he goes. He's got to rub it in now.
I'm
Oh.
just glad we don't have. I'm just glad we don't have smell-o-vision.
See, here in Australia, we used to have this dish called bubble and squeak. You have it for breakfast, and it was always usually with leftover corned beef or sausages, and with the potato and carrots from the mill from the night before, and then you'd cook it up with in the frying pan and add a big couple of cracked eggs to it. And we used to call it bubble and squeak because all the sausages and the leftover meat would pop and sizzle. And that used to be delicious. Because the potatoes that would be left over, they would fry up. Very nice.
Here you go, Trevor. This one's for you, Trevor.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I like savoury.
It's amazing the number of people that don't do anything with leftovers.
I do. I still do. I do. I was brought up that way.
Yeah. But, I mean, I know people, they'll cook a meal, and if there's anything left over, it goes right in the trash.
Yeah,
right?
I know too.
That could be tomorrow morning's breakfast fried up or something, or that could be tomorrow's lunch.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of foods that it actually tastes better the second and third time, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
the Germans always used to, traditionally, the Germans would have a pot of stew. They would add to that pot and keep it on the stove at a certain temperature, on the old wood stoves. And so if it's kept at a certain temperature, the bacteria will not breed. It has to be at that same height, and they'd add to the stew. And it was perfectly fine, because the stew would actually be like that 100-year-old stock that the French develop, where they add a portion of the stock back into the new stock. And so hence there was always a gene pool of stock within the new stock. And that's where you get your flavour from.
Yep. Nice kitty.
Thanks. She's a pest.
Ah, they all are.
Yeah, I'm not that big fan
love
of
'em.
kitties. I'm not a big fan of kitties. I think they're pests. But I don't dislike them.
Well, she's sitting here at the window. She likes looking out the window, and I don't know what she sees when she's looking out the window, but she goes crazy. And she starts scratching at the window, and now she just jumped down like she's running from something. And it's hilarious to watch, really.
Okay.
It's a bit annoying.
See, I had experiences when I was working long hours. I was doing high-pressure cleaning chicken farms at the time. And I used to have to travel 3 to 4 hours one way and then spend 8 to 12 hours high-pressure cleaning and then make the trip back home. Anyway, I was living with my kin at the time, like my sisters and that. And the cats they would allow the cats to get in my room all the time, and I used to hate it. It used to get that bad, I'd have to put plastic on my bed because the problem was the cats loved me. They would try to sleep in my bed or anything, and even if I had my pair of boots when I got home, and I'd kick them off, they just loved my smell, and so therefore I just disliked them. Yeah. Oh, they used to run amok.
What's the best dessert to have, Paul, after you eat a Jimmy Dean breakfast bowl?
What's that?
So what's the best dessert to have?
Brownies, he said.
I know he said it.
See,
they really are good.
Getting back to that other thing, Rick, even my neighbours across the road when I was living at Port Parham by the coast, like they would offer me a donut or whatever, and I'd have one donut, and they would all have a donut. But if we had eaten enough and there was about 3 left over from a big pack, they'd throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah. I don't imagine Paul had that problem. I don't think donuts and brownies last very long around
That's
Paul.
what made me think of it. I don't think he'd have that problem. No, he's not in the chair. We can't talk about him.
I wish my
Well, he can hear.
a wider angle to it. My cat, Tai-Tai's her name, she just jumped up here and slipped on. I have a couple of magazines sitting here on the desk. She jumped up
And it slipped.
It slid and she almost fell off the desk. It was funny because the look on her face. I wish you all could have seen it. It was hilarious. Oh, man.
Did somebody say donuts?
Oh, God, he's got
Donuts.
Oh, goodness.
Is there anything you don't have in the house to eat?
Oh my God, Paul, you make. I'm so jealous.
These are really good too. Yeah,
What are they, buddy?
they're called Dunkers, and they're nutty little
Okay.
donuts.
I like nutty little things like that.
Yeah.
They're like me. I'm nutty. I'm one of those. Maybe not so little, but I'm nutty.
Trevor, just in your honor.
Oh, thank you, mate. I'd love one. I love those sort of things. See, I used to go to church, right, and we'd have bake-offs, and I used to always win the bake-offs of all the sponge cakes, and I'd make sponge cakes and cut them in half, cream and jam, and jam syrup, and then I'd put strawberries on top of the cream on top, whipped cream that is, and then strawberries all the way around the whole cake, and you'd cut through the cake, and it'd be like angel's breath. It was that soft. Beautiful. I used to make the best sponge cakes. The women would all be asking, how do you do that? How do you? My mum taught me how to do it. I used to use geese or duck eggs. And they had to be fresh.
RC. Sounds good, man. RC's going to have a live stream tonight.
Okay.
That's cool.
Got to have fresh eggs with sponge cakes.
Did somebody say whipped cream?
Oh,
yes.
God.
Oh, man. Are you going to dunk them in whipped cream? Are you going to dunk them in whipped cream? Oh, my God.
Bubble gum, Paul. You got any bubble gum there?
Somebody say bubble gum?
Yeah, some bubble gum. Put some chocolate syrup on it.
I know you guys are old enough to remember Bazooka Joe, the Bazooka bubble gum.
Oh yeah, and
we had a cartoon on the inside.
We had Hubba Bubba. We had Hubba Bubba.
Hubba Bubba came, I think, after Bazooka. I'm not sure.
So. I think
but
so.
Bazooka came like in a little, like almost a 1-inch square brick.
Yeah.
And you take the wrapper off, and there'd be a cartoon on the inside of the wrapper.
Yep.
Oh.
These are good with whipped cream too. They're really
oh my God, marshmallow bites.
Okay. Do you have any moon pies? Rodney knows.
I don't moon.
I don't cola and a moon pie.
I don't moon that early in the morning, but thank you.
Okay. And you're always a full moon when you do.
It's very
okay. No, Rodney will remember the great Southern delicacy, moon pies and RC cola.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't
cola. I like RC cola.
I didn't like RC cola, so
I like it.
Moon pie and Dr. Pepper.
That works. Yeah, I understand. That works too.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan on Dr. Pepper, but I like RC cola.
RC cola to me had a funny taste.
The funny thing.
It's different. It's different.
The funny thing, I don't know if it's me or what. It probably is because I'm kind of weird. But Coke out of a glass
bottle. Join the club.
But Coke out of a glass bottle, I like. I can't stand it out of a can.
I prefer it out of a glass bottle, but I get cans because they're cheaper.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm just saying, I can't stand it out of a can. But I like the taste of it out of a bottle.
I actually miss bottles.
Now, I'm not talking a plastic bottle. I'm talking, the original.
Yeah, the original glass.
Yeah.
And it does taste better. It does taste better. I agree.
During the holiday season, one of my favorites is, everybody sells eggnog, right? Is to take a glass and put about this much eggnog in the bottle, and then Berner's ginger ale on top, and it makes a ginger ale fizz. Oh, man, I can't get enough of that.
All right. I haven't tried that. I'd love to try that.
Because, eggnog by itself is so thick and heavy, but you put ginger ale in with it, oh, man.
That's like here in Australia, we have these things called spiders, where it's basically you use your best soda on top of vanilla ice cream, and it froths up, and it's got that fizziness with the creaminess.
Right.
And they were always popular at schools' fetes and stalls, where they'd be able to sell them, and they were always popular. Yeah, they were very nice.
How many of you guys remember Fizzies?
Fizzies,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's root beer flavored Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those. Hey, Rick.
Yes.
Do you remember Suicides?
Suicide.
Yeah. When I was a kid growing up, we'd go to the movies and we'd ask for a Suicide. And what it is, it's a mixture of every drink they had.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
well, I didn't learn that as a kid. We called it that when I was in the military. But it wasn't sodas.
Well,
it was squeezing out the bar rag, right, Rick?
As I got older, it wasn't so much sodas anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember the term, but I never used it as a kid. But I know that would probably be fun.
Yeah.
You know, give me a little bit of everything.
Marcy, how you doing?
When I was in the Cav, man, let me see, 4 times in my career I served in the Cav. They had a thing called Cav Punch. And what they would do is they go all the way back to the first battles with cavalry. And we're talking like all the way back, like for the charge up San Juan Hill, they take rum. And then for this battle, they take whiskey. And for this battle, they take bourbon.
All right.
This battle, they take gin or whatever the hell, or sake, you know, and it all goes in the bowl. And we're talking a fifth in this huge bowl. And then you had to drink the Cav Punch. Some of the most vile tasting stuff I've ever been made to drink in my life.
I don't know. I've never, I can't remember because I don't believe in them. But, you know, when you get them colonoscopies, I guess they give you some pretty nasty stuff to drink then, too.
Yeah. Actually, that's gotten better here because I've had 3. And the last time, the flavor packs actually worked. You know, they give you it didn't taste quite that good going down, but the aftertaste that you would get was whatever the flavor was. So if you had like cherry, the aftertaste would be like cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things were, and actually, Paul, this last time I didn't have to drink as much because they gave me a pill, and he said, at noon, take the pill. As soon as you feel like you've got to go, and then start drinking the fluid. But I only had to drink a half a gallon instead of a gallon.
Wow.
And you have to drink it. You have to drink it like within an hour or so. So you're sitting there chugging this stuff down. It's like, oh my God, I want something else other than this. But yeah.
Well, I would think that you could probably pre-start yourself on like Dulcolax. I'm a big guy, and you know, like every once in a while we all get a little bound up, and those little blue Dulcolax pills. The first time I used them, I took like 3 or 4 of them, and oh my God, I was living in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what basically happens from noon until whenever. But it sure does clean you out.
Yeah.
The pictures come out pretty.
Well, hey guys, I got to get off here. I got to go do my honeydews.
There you go.
Rodney, thank you very much. Thank you for stopping by, my friend.
Thank you, Rodney.
For having you.
No problem. It's good seeing everybody.
Rodney,
Good to see you, Rodney.
And y'all have a nice weekend. We'll see you maybe on Canadian Drone Hub in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in the future. I'm Sunday now.
Yep.
You're on
Manic Sunday. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all have a good one.
You too.
You too.
Make sure before anybody leaves, make sure you hit that like button.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get involved right away and not remember to do that. But I'm sure
I hit it earlier.
I'm sure that Rick would greatly appreciate it.
Will do.
Rick's printer is printing out another fan.
There you go.
Cool.
You know, down in the handle, Rick, you should put down there, fan by Rick, or I'm a Rick fan or something. You know.
No, I left it all to him.
All to the Lord. Yep.
All to the Lord. It says the name of the church. It says prayer works here, and then it says Jesus saves in the middle.
Now, for a hand, are you just going to use it like that, or are you
going
going
to use it like this? The wife said to put a handle on it, but then if I put a handle on this, unless I find a way to, and I don't want to screw one on, but if I was to design a handle, then this will be smaller. This is about an inch away from being the maximum size I can print widthwise.
Well, you know, if you could design a handle that would actually mess up with that, just perfect. You know, that Gorilla Glue gel.
Yeah.
Or Rick.
Concrete.
Or Rick, you can actually design a handle that's got like 2 prongs, like the old clothes pegs, and it just slides over it, and the handle's there, and it just slides over in the center of it, and then you can actually take the handle off or on.
They don't give them away anymore, but paint stirrers.
Yeah.
The back would be perfect. But I've been using it like this, and it works just fine. So I don't know.
I've seen them like that with this round curve.
We'll see what happens.
The only thing is, Rick, you don't want the congregation to get really rocking and rolling and get excited and start throwing them like frisbees. Yeah.
Frisbees.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't tried to fly one yet. But I even left this backside that you're looking at. That's actually the raft. Okay. And I've been leaving them on. You don't have to.
Oh yeah, they look good. I like that.
Good with the raft on, so I haven't been pulling the raft off.
Yeah.
But I finally figured out how to get them thin. I kept trying to make them thinner, but I didn't realize that I could. In other words, when you put it into the slicer and you click on either the height or the width or the depth and you adjust it, it was staying dimensionally the same or proportionally the same. I'm going, how can I print this thin? Every time I take it down to print it thin, it comes out this big. Well, I didn't know there was a little unlock button. And with the unlock button, I can tell it I don't want to keep the proportions. So I made the width and the depth very close to the maximum that I can print. And then I took the thickness down to just 3 millimeters or 3/10 of a millimeter.
There you go.
No, 3 millimeters. Yeah, 3/10 of a centimeter. So, but it's been working good. I'm hoping they like them. I think they will. I don't see how they could not like them. So.
Yeah. Rick, I'm gonna go. I gotta go tend to the ribs and chicken. And
oh my God!
So
they're gonna stick to the ribs, I bet you.
Yeah. You know, I got to make sure the ribs and chicken are fall off the bone tender. And
I haven't even had any meals today yet.
There you go. Well, I'll take care of that for you there, Trevor.
Are you cooking? Are you cooking for one, Paul, or are you cooking for more than one?
Well, I always cook for more than one, but it's always one. You know. So
yeah, I understood. Okay.
Yep.
Well, you guys, God bless, my friend, and you take care and get us some of that IR imagery. I'm anxious to see what it looks like.
Yeah, you guys behave in the meantime, and I hopefully get my little chores done here, and then I'll probably see you guys over on the Canadian Drone Hub that starts at 9 o'clock usually.
Yeah. After I get off the Ricks, I will make something to eat, and then I'll go to Canadian Hub.
You guys take care.
I'll be on the hub a little bit. Mason agrees with you that if I take them to church, they might end up using them as frisbees.
Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.
I will. Take care, guys. Yeah, we got Paul. Everybody should be heading over to the Tropic UAS. Good morning. Didn't see you come in. We'll be heading over to the hub here in about 5-6 minutes, guys. Roger should be up and running by then. So I do appreciate everybody that stopped by this morning. This was one of the better ones. We had a lot of people on.
Oh, it was. And Paul, he's good people too.
Now that I figured out that I can actually have 5 or 6 people on and not crash. So, yeah, it was a good day. Very good day. Take care, Rick Halber.
Remember the days, Rick, when you and I were the only ones on just about the whole show sometimes, and I would always keep you company.
Yep. Yeah. Those were. Thanks, Mason. Have a good day. Hope you get that. I think, were you the one that was looking for the Advanced 3 controller? I hope you find it or get it fixed.
I think he was.
Like I say, the only people I know that do really good work are Carolina Drones. They're really good at repairs, and if they can't repair it, they find somebody who can. So, you're welcome, Rick. Yeah, I'm going to try to be on again tomorrow. Maybe not as early as today, but definitely by 6:30. Saturdays and Sundays, the only days I can do it anymore, unless I'm off. If I'm off from work, then I try to do one. But yeah, pretty much tied into the weekends.
Yeah, I tried to get on earlier, Rick, but I was on another hangout.
Yeah, and I know you sent me a couple of invites last week, Manic, and it wasn't that I didn't want to come on, but I can't come on from work.
Oh, no, I realize that. Not a problem.
So I can watch and I can type, and that's about it. Well, I can't type, but I can attempt to type.
Yeah,
it doesn't always come out right. Yep, for sure.
And because the people that I was on their hangout, while I was on your hangout, they invited me, and I thought, no, I've been on their hangouts already today, so I haven't spoken to you for a while.
That was very nice having you, my friend. Hope that works out with your nephew. That'd be nice for you to have somebody around.
Yeah.
Other than just the dog.
Oh, that's right. But I can fulfill my day even without YouTube. Going down the lake for a couple of hours and doing what I do.
Roger, good morning, sir.
It's good.
Roger, we had a lot of folks in today. They're all warmed up, waiting to go to the hub.
How you going, Roger?
We had Paul and Hugh and Rodney and Manic. So we had a pretty good party this morning. That's
Was there anyone you missed out?
Roger, just be glad you woke up.
Yeah, we had a good panel, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Rodney even broke out of his shell a little bit. Sometimes Rodney is a little on the shy side.
He even was a bit raunchy, some of the comments.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh my God, some of them I wasn't going to touch that.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Even for me, which was fun.
But yeah, that was a good time. Let's see if we can repeat it tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a big day for our church. Our district supervisor is coming to preach. So we've got to be on our best behavior, and hopefully our choir will hit all the notes just right. We've been practicing. But yeah, we'll see in a little bit, Roger. We'll have them all over there.
Yeah, I used to sing in the choir.
I used to sing tenor when I was a young kid, but now I'm down to the bass level, unfortunately. Well, I don't mind. But every once in a while, that tenor tries to sneak out, and it gets really scratchy. It's like, go back down to the bass. You belong in the basement. Get down in the basement.
Yeah.
But it's the way, you've sung some of these songs as a tenor, and your brain wants to do the tenor, and it just can't reach those notes anymore. Anyway, guys, we're going to shut it down. We do appreciate everybody came. Manic, thank you for being the first guest in.
No worries.
Appreciate it.
I'll never let you down.
I appreciate it. I try not to ever let you down, my friend. Anyway, guys, have a blessed day. Take care. God bless. And StarCop's going to be out. Have a good day.
Buddy.
See you at the hub.